This is Golf with Jay Delsing. A two-time college All-American at UCLA. A participant in nearly 700 PGA Tour events. 7 professional wins to his credit. Over 30 years of professional golf experience. A member of the St. Louis Sports Hall of Fame. This is Golf with Jay Delsing.
Hey, good morning. This is Golf with Jay Delsing. I'm your host, Jay. I'm sitting down with my buddy, Pearlie May. Thanks for joining me.
Glad to be here, Jay. Ready for another great show.
All right, so John, let's just get in right into the show. We have a really cool Gateway Spotlight today. One of the more interesting guys I've ever run across is Ron Daugherty from Daugherty Business Solutions. Man, this guy, there's just not enough adjectives to describe him and what he's done and between fencing and chess and running a worldwide conglomerate that's located right here in St. Louis, and philanthropy, and he's into fencing, and he's got a gold medal from, it just is on and on and on. And so it's really a cool interview. I think you're going to love listening to Ron Daugherty, what he brings to the table. But John, got to give a shout out. I'm sure you remember John Worth, who we played with in the Pro-Am. Great guy. He's the COO for Daugherty. He's the reason that Ron's on the show. And John's a great guy and a good golfer. Yep. And he and I have become friends because of the Ascension Charity Classic and because of the Pro-Am, Pearl.
Yep. I certainly remember him. He was a very good player. That was a great group you had.
Yeah, and I'm sure they felt the same about us. They got
maybe
they did really good on their pairing.
They may have been excited that they got paired with you. We'll have to figure that out over a cocktail.
Yeah, so Pearl, imagine this. You're sitting in the Norwood Ballroom, and they're doing the draw, and you're there, and you've got Vijay Singh, Ernie Els, Jim Furyk, names go on and on, Jerry Keller, Bernhard Langer, and they get Jay Delsing.
They had to be thrilled. They had to be. Sure they had to look around and go like, what did I deserve? What did I do to deserve?
Pearl, is probably the same feeling as the sound when you let a little air out of a balloon.
A little squeal?
Yeah, just like, don't do that to me. Anyway, we got lucky. We had a great time with John. And John, a shout out to you. Thank you for first of all, thanks for Daugherty for supporting the tournament. They're also, Pearl, the presenting sponsor of the Advocate PGA golf event this year at Glen Echo. So these guys are unbelievable corporate citizens and love that. So we're going to have a great interview with Ron. And with the tip of the cap segments brought to you by Dean Team Volkswagen of Kirkwood, 314-966-0303. Guys, call Colin Burnt. He's your car man. That's all I'm just going to tell you. He is your car guy. I'm tipping my cap to the clothing technology folks in the golf space. John, back in the day, we wore heavy-duty cotton. We wore cotton trousers. We wore cotton shirts. It was like throwing a blanket on top of you. It is 1,000 degrees here in the Midwest these days, and we're out there in those cool fabric, the wicking sort of fabric shirts that don't need to be ironed. Would we have liked that back in the day?
Pass some of those down to me.
I got a few for you. So we are tipping our cap to those guys because those fabrics are awesome. They're so nice. Great weight. No ironing. And I know how much you hate to iron, Pearl. Have you ever ironed any of your clothes? Ever?
No, never.
Never in your life. Do you even own an iron other than like a 5-iron?
I own an old 5-iron that has the wrong loft, I think. That's all I got.
Perfect. That's the tip of the cap segment brought to you by the Dean Team Volkswagen of Kirkwood. 314-966-0303. Thanks, Colin. I love my ride. Guys, that's going to wrap up the On the Range segment. Don't go anywhere. We've got Ron Daugherty from Daugherty Business Solutions on the front nine. It's Golf with Jay Delsing.
On the Range is presented by the Gateway section of the PGA. Find out more at PGA.com.
Good morning. This is Golf with Jay Delsing. I'm your host, Jay, and I'm sitting down this morning with Mike Surrey. Mike, good morning.
Good morning. How you doing, Jay?
Doing great, my friend. Thanks so much for joining me again in year 2 on the Gateway Section Spotlight.
Hey, absolutely. This kind of makes me a celebrity.
Yeah.
I feel as a golf pro getting on this show, you're talking golf with the golfing legend in St. Louis is pretty cool.
Oh my gosh, I don't know anything about that, but I appreciate what you're doing. And tell us about this 50-year anniversary for your family golf course, Oak Brook.
Yeah, it's been a fantastic year. It's really cool. It's about our busiest year ever. Also, the golf industry's been crazy since COVID, but it's really cool because it's my family. My grandpa, who passed away before I was born, and I just turned 45. We have his memorial tournament coming up this weekend. So if you're at a country club, it's our member guest. If you're in the golf, it's our masters, really. But so it's our way every year of thanking him. It's my way of honoring him and thanking him. But we'll have 160 or 170 amateurs out here playing. It's our 50th year. It's our 46th year doing his memorial. But it's just really kind of a cool culmination. My dad, who's 80, is still out here. My mom scores the tournament with me and my wife. And, not too many people get to do that with their immediate family for so long. And I'm very grateful for it.
And Mike, you got 4th generation as well, right? You got your kids involved.
Yeah. I played in a club pro event earlier today, the PPC qualifier. And my daughter's talking about how she's going to make 46th anniversary cupcakes and 50th anniversary cupcakes, and all this stuff. And yeah, it's pretty special.
Oh my gosh, the fact that you're doing that with your family together, it's in the game that you're on first of all, on the property that your grandpa, started, and then you're honoring him, and you've got 4 generations of Surreys up there. Wow.
Yeah, we're lucky, and we're lucky that we're in a game, that gives back, even when you're out there struggling like I did today. You're just lucky to be able to play it, and we try to pass that on to everybody. But obviously, we wouldn't be here for 50 years without all the people that came out and played. So we're ultimately grateful to them, and we're trying to celebrate with them this year.
So Mike, tell everybody about your junior golf program, because not only are you the top in the Midwest, you're the top in the country.
I went down a step last year. There's actually a couple of guys here in the Gateway section, Don Kipper and Clayton McGowan, that overtook me. I kind of say it was on a technicality, and I'll get it back this year. But yeah, some of the leaders in junior golf, in PGA Junior League golf, are right here in the Gateway section on the Missouri and Illinois side. And, for me, it is a way that I can kind of have a purpose in life, because golf, as you know, is a selfish game. And when you're out there doing it for yourself all the time, it's hard, because especially if you're not doing well and people are depending on you. But when you can give it to kids and give it to families, and then they come out here on the afternoons and play, you kind of feel more purpose in life. And so that's really what I get out of it. I obviously get way more out of it than the kids do. And that's why I love to do it, and hopefully that's why they participate.
Golf is a societal powerhouse just through the monies that the tournaments raise in various ways, shapes, and forms. But the fact that you've got so many of our next generations getting involved, dipping their toe in, and having these young boys and girls, jump in at whatever level they choose, that's where our future lies.
Oh, absolutely. And I, sometimes the parents will be disappointed that their child doesn't want to try out for the high school team. And I said, it doesn't matter. I said, if you have an 8 or 9-year-old girl that plays golf for a couple years, and then she decides when she's 25 years old, she wants to take it back up, she's going to be so far ahead of all the people that are just starting. She'll have the gift for the rest of her life to be able to go and play. You get to go to some of the greatest places on earth if you have the resources, and you can go and nobody goes on a hockey vacation. People go on golf vacations all the time, though, and I see all these people over at St. Andrews, and I'm thinking, man, I've been on a golf course my whole entire life, and I haven't been to St. Andrews. But that's what's great about it. I had 3 junior leaguers that were over at the 150th Open, and they brought me back a flag, and they took, how cool is that they wanted to celebrate that with me? How cool is it that they got to do it?
And you know what's really neat and so special is this game of ours is a really big uniter, Mike. in a world where
Yeah.
we have so much fractioning going on and so much whatever I don't even want to talk about. This gets you outside. It gets you exercise, some fresh air, and some good, clean fun. I know that's kind of corny, but I love that.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And today I've done my daughter walks around with me when I play. I really don't even like to play anymore unless she's with me. My two boys are playing in a gateway event down at Daugherty, so they're living the good life down there. We get done and I look at my phone and I had 15 text messages and 10 missed phone calls. You've been on the golf course when you're not playing good, and it is tough. But then when you get done and you look at your phone, and you're like, man, I just had 4.5 hours of peace and quiet, even though I was struggling. Like you say, it brings everybody together, because when you're out there on the tee and you hit a bad drive, it doesn't matter what you feel about anything. The people that are with you feel your pain, or when you hit a great shot, you get to celebrate with everybody too. And so it is a great uniter.
It's just terrific. Mike, congratulations to you, the legacy, your family. Keep doing what you're doing. This is Mike Surrey. He's over at Oak Brook Golf Course on the east side. Congratulations.
Hey, thank you, Jay, and congratulations to you on a successful radio program and podcast, and we love it. Thank the Gateway PGA. Thanks you.
I am proud to welcome the Gateway section of the PGA back to my show. Whether you're pulling into your favorite driving range, public golf course, or country club, there is an excellent chance that the staff there is part of the over 300 men and women PGA professionals at over 100 facilities that make up our Gateway section. I grew up watching so many of these fine men and women getting to the golf course at dawn, leaving at dusk, spending their entire day running events, giving lessons, and growing this great game. PGA Reach, Drive, Chip, and Putt, PGA Hope, and the fantastic PGA Junior League are a few of the examples of the programs run by these same PGA professionals. Go to gatewaypga.org to learn more, or to find your next PGA professional for your next lesson, go to pga.com. The Gateway PGA, growing the game we love. How would you like access to 90 holes of golf? Well, that's what happens when you join at Whitmore Country Club. You get access to the Missouri Bluffs, the Links of Dardenne, and the Golf Club of Wentzville. And guess what? No cart fees included in that deal. There's no food and beverage minimums. There's no assessments. They have a 24-hour fitness center, 2 large pool complexes, 3 tennis courts. Year-round social calendar includes holiday parties, picnics, date nights, live music. They even have a kids club for your children, and much, much more. There's junior golf, junior tennis, and swim teams available. This is a family-friendly atmosphere, and they have a wonderful staff. If you get out there, you got to poke your head in the golf shop and say hello to my friend Bummer. He is a terrific guy, and he will help you with your game and show you around. And don't forget, there are golf leagues, skins games, members tournaments, and couples events available all year round. Visit whitmoregolf.com. That's whitmoregolf.com.
The Ascension Charity Classic returns September 6th through the 11th. Once again, St. Louis will host golf's greatest champions. Players like Bernard Langer, Ernie Els, Jim Furyk, John Daly, and returning champion David Toms. But no matter which legend wins this year, the real winners will be North County Charities, because all proceeds from the tournament stay right here in St. Louis to benefit our communities. Tickets available now at AscensionCharityClassic.com.
Folks, are you in the market for some additional protection for your ride? You need to call my friends at Vehicle Assurance. Their number is 866-341-9255. Sherry Fain is the owner and president, and she and her team are committed to helping you with your unexpected auto repair bills. They are committed to finding the right protection for you, your budget, and your family. They only work with the top vehicle service providers in the country. Get the protection and the peace of mind you deserve. That's Vehicle Assurance, 866-341-9255 for a free quote. 866-341-9255.
This is Golf with Jay Delsing. The Front Nine is presented by the Ascension Charity Classic, September 5th through the 11th at Norwood Hills Country Club. For tickets, AscensionCharityClassic.com.
Hey, welcome back. This is Golf with Jay Delsing. I'm your host, Jay. Burley is with me, and we're headed to the Front Nine, and it's brought to you by, that's right, Ascension Charity Classic. Get this date down, September 5th through 11th, Norwood Hills. Best players in the world, over 50, right here in St. Louis. raising money for North County and the North County charities. Guys, got to come out. You're going to love what Marcone did for their military viewing platform for our first responders and our military. And also, don't forget about the Advocate PGA that's at Glen Echo and is presented by Daugherty Business Solutions. Guys, we are going right now to the first half of my interview with the CEO of Daugherty Business Solutions, Mr. Ron Daugherty. Enjoy this interview. Man, thanks for joining me this morning.
I'm delighted to be here, Jay. Looking forward to it.
First of all, Ron, tell the folks just a little bit before we start getting the background and stuff. Tell the folks a little bit that may not know about Daugherty Business Solutions, what you guys do.
I started our company 37 years ago. We help our customers use technology to better achieve their business objectives. And a lot of that is associated with better use of data, analytics, artificial intelligence, machine learning. We build applications. We help companies with next generation product management. Work with a lot of big companies. We work with about 75 of the Fortune 500. I have 2,500 Daugherty employees, teammates of mine, who work in 30 states and 3 countries, and we're growing fast. And we're one of the largest privately held companies in the region. The Business Journal just came out with the list of the largest IT consulting firms and the largest software development firms in the region. And Daugherty is number one in both categories, and we have been number one for the last few years. Really been lucky. Started the company from scratch. I don't have any outside investors, and I'm very, very committed to doing good things for our communities.
Well, Ron, I think that inspiration is so obvious to me today, and what you're doing and how you consider people that work for you teammates, and how you guys are focused on your teammates to look at things that are larger than themselves, where they push and pull at the same time to accomplish some really great things. That's not easy, and that is pretty uncommon today.
If we have a common shared guiding vision, then everything else becomes more straightforward, easier to collaborate on. And collaboration and teamwork is such a key, such an important key, especially as an organization grows. I'm the original founder of the company, and just started myself and Jan Daugherty, the two of us. And now with over 2,500 employees all over the world and growing fast, it's so easy to lose the vision, the value, the culture, the just the core values of the organization. And so I put that at the very forefront, the thing that matters most. We're all here to do something together that's bigger than any of us is individually. And over the years, Jay, more and more of that has become associated with how do we make a positive difference in the world. And in fact, I tell my people, I tell all of my teammates, if you work with me, if you're a part of Daugherty Business Solutions, I cannot guarantee you that everything will always be perfect here. But I'll promise you 2 things. Number one, that I'll be working with you every day to make things better here in every way that we can. And number 2, I guarantee you that if you're a part of this company, you will be making a positive difference in the world, because we're completely, totally committed to that. And that just really helps us stay focused on what matters. And I think it's been a major key to our success.
It's interesting, Ron, as we push through this pandemic, and hopefully we're nearly through it, the growth that you've experienced at a time in this world has been so tenuous. Your ability to communicate, and the way that I have seen this pop up time and time again about things written and spoken about Daugherty Business Solutions yourself, that's a big challenge in the world today, because it seems to me like we have more and more ways to communicate, but we actually communicate worse and worse than the old days.
That can definitely happen. It is, isn't it? Just if you look at the world overall, if we could just communicate with each other a little better, then we could understand each other better, and then a lot of things would start to fall in place. What I found, Jay, is that you just have to do it. There's no one way to do it. You have to communicate every way that you can imagine, and be consistent and continuous in that process. So one of the things that I did, I started doing it during the pandemic, and then I realized, holy cow, I should have just been doing this all along as my company got bigger. Every Sunday night, I send a message every Sunday night to everybody in my company. Here's what happened last week, and here's what I think matters. And here's where we're going every Sunday. And I see people all the time. They say, Ron, I joined your company a few months ago. We've never met, but I feel like I know you because I listened to you. I read your Sunday update. I look at your podcasts, view your podcasts. I participated in your all hands meetings that you have. So I think it's such a key, Jay, just the communication and never let go of it.
This same thread follows through with your personal life, with what you've done with your kids. I know you and I think your daughter Melissa started the painting spot. You were a Golden Gloves boxer when you were a young man, equestrian sports with some of your daughters, chess with your son. I mean, the harmonica, the music, the da-da-da. I mean, I could go on, but how the hell do you have time for all this stuff, man?
well, I appreciate you mentioning all those things. Time's a challenge. It's an interesting thing. Everybody has the same amount of it, don't we? And so how we use it, so important. And I try to be efficient and combine things in any way that I can. For instance, the Daugherty band. I play the harmonica and sing in the Daugherty band. And so we use the Daugherty band to raise money for worthy causes. We raise money for cystic fibrosis. We compete in the United Way Battle of the Corporate Bands and raise money for the United Way. It lets me do something that's fun. It allows me to get to know my teammates better who play in the band. Everyone in the band is a Daugherty teammate. And then when we perform, our colleagues from Daugherty and our clients come and it's a way for me to interact with them, play the harmonica. And I like to think I play a pretty good harmonica. So how did I find time to do that? Well, I'll tell you that, and don't tell anybody, Jay, but I practice in my car and I drive with my knees.
I just love it, Ron. I got to tell you, folks, you got to check out Daugherty Brought the Party. It's a music video that you put together, and I am so jealous of your ability to play that harmonica. Man, it sounded great.
Well, I appreciate that, Jay. I appreciate you looking at that video. It's interesting. We did a leadership training session. It's a really key area of focus for me. How do I invest more in my leaders to help them develop and grow? Because I started this company, I've never had any outside investors. We're on track to hit $500 million in revenue next year. We'd be about a little over 350 million this year, $500 million next year. And I've had my eye set on a goal of $1 billion in annual revenue while I was still able to run the company. And it looks like that just may happen. I invest in my teammates, and that most of my senior leadership has grown from within the company, so that the success of our organization then translates to a benefit and value to all the Daugherty people who made that success happen. And so we're doing more and more leadership development training. And as we did our leadership development training, I brought in someone that I got to know when he was the head of all global supply chain for Kraft and Mondelez. Daniel Myers is his name, and he ran all global supply chain for Procter & Gamble before that. Just a great business person. And he just a couple of years ago retired, and he works with the Global Supply Chain Institute and the University of Tennessee, Knoxville, and he delivers leadership training. He partners with his brother, who's a professional musician, a young woman named Natalie Marshall, who's one of the top fiddle players and professional musicians in Nashville. So there's a musical component to the leadership training, and the musical component helps capture and dramatize inspiration and vision and emotional connection. And so we did the leadership training with my friend Daniel Myers and his team and Natalie. And part of the training was to write a song. And it's interesting because writing the song and the teamwork required to do that and to capture the vision and then to put it into words and the concepts like harmony, and they translate nicely. And so we wrote a song, and it turned out so well. Daniel invited me to go to Nashville and record the song. Recorded the song at the Sound Emporium. That's where Chris Stapleton recorded Tennessee Whiskey, to just give you an idea of the nature of the place. We recorded the song. I did the harmonica tracks, and then we brought it back and did a music video around the recording with the Daugherty band. So that's the Daugherty Brought the Party. Written by the Daugherty leadership team and set to music and with a music video. So that's what the Daugherty Brought the Party music video is.
You cannot miss how much fun everybody in that band is having in that video. It makes me smile right now just thinking about it. It was really great.
You know, and then the other concept here associated with that leadership training is, as we grow and as we achieve success, I make it clear to everyone, when we're $1 billion, when we have 10,000 employees, that I want to look around the room at my senior leadership team, and I want to see a lot of familiar faces. That's the commitment. And the other part of that, Jay, is that I've made a commitment to everyone in the company that I'm never gonna sell Daugherty Business Solutions to an outside organization. I'm going to turn it over to the employees. The ability to do positive, good things with this company continues to increase as we grow and become more successful. And I want that to continue after me. And so I'm grooming the leaders who I can see have internalized the values of Daugherty and will continue to propagate and take those things forward. And they're gonna run the business, and all of our employees are gonna own it.
Wow, Ron, that is incredible. So it's basically an extension of your family. What you've done is been able to stay in touch. I have 4 daughters, and they live all across the country, and it's never easy to kind of keep all those balls in the air in an equal fashion. And it's amazing what you've done here. And congratulations.
There is a family element to it. And I want to say this is a little confusing to some folks, and it's a little bit of a personal thing, but I just want to share it. Jan Daugherty started the company with me, and she's been a part of the business from the very beginning, 37 years. And she and I were divorced about 5 years ago, but we're still good friends. She's still part of the business. And it was just a personal thing. You know, people, they grow up, they become more like themselves, and there was no scandal. There was nothing bad. And maybe this is even a little too personal to mention, but she's still a big part of the business. And she was involved from the beginning. And there's the story behind that. But I just wouldn't feel right without mentioning her contribution.
No, I think that's great. I really appreciate that. Ron, one of the things that is so clear to me is that you have a competitive fire. You're a competitor. I know you were a Golden Glove boxer. I also know, and this is really cool, you got to just tell us briefly about your fencing gold medal in the Pan Am Games, because I know you dealt with some injury and some adversity to try to get that thing.
I got involved with fencing. I became interested in fencing several years ago when my daughter, Jan, and my oldest daughter got involved with the fencing program at the University of Michigan. So Allison was fencing, and I thought, wow, that sounds interesting. I'll see if I can learn how to do that, so I'll have something to do with her. So I started studying fencing. By the way, Allison has gone on to become a veterinarian. She's the veterinarian for the St. Louis Aquarium at Union Station and for the World Bird Sanctuary here in town. And so I owe my fencing career to her. I started fencing, and then something very fortunate for St. Louis happened. A world-class fencing coach, his name is Hussam Hassan. He moved to St. Louis. He was the coach of the Egyptian national team. He took them to the Olympics in Atlanta. And so world fencing coach here in town, I started studying with him. And fencing has a very active age group competition for 40 years of age and above. And so I started to compete, to work hard at that. I won the Canadian American Games, a gold medal. I was on the podium at several U.S. championships. And then in just 2017, just 5 years ago, Coach Assam and I went to St. John's Island and won the gold medal in men's foil fencing in the Pan American Games. I had a really, really good day. And I won every bout, and I competed in the final against the gentleman who was number 4 in the country at the time, and I beat him 10-3. Wow. And so it was a good day for me. It was a good day, and it was also I was able to do that with my son. who became a very good fencer as well. And we fenced together for a number of years. So that was quite a thrill, and all the circumstances were there. Once again, it takes a team, and I had a world-class coach. Fencing is one of those sports that you can't get to the top of the sport without having a really good coach. It's like, maybe that's true for every sport, but some are more that way than others. There's probably some of that element in golf, and there certainly is in gymnastics and other sports. And so I was real lucky, very fortunate.
These are not going to be in any specific order in terms of your affinity for them, but we've got to talk about the Hardball, the Independence Center, Access Point. Gosh, I can't wait to tell people about Access Point. But let's start with the Hardball. I know that's really important to you, and we're raising awareness, and you're heavily involved in that endeavor.
I'm the chairman of the American Heart Association Hardball campaign this year, and it's quite an honor. I feel very honored to be in that role. I first became familiar with the American Heart Association when Tim Wentworth, who was the CEO of Express Scripts at the time here in St. Louis, chaired the campaign, and I attended my first Hardball to support him, and was so impressed by how many people the American Heart Association helps. There's such a large percentage of Americans of the world have some sort of a heart condition. And, you know, when you add high blood pressure and hypertension into that mix, it's a mind-boggling percentage. And hypertension is not a heart disease, but it leads to heart disease if you have it long enough. So it's a very, very big factor. I was impressed. I supported the Heart Association for the next few years, and they asked me to chair the campaign this year. So I'm delighted to do it. And I find when I do these things, Jay, that supporting a great cause, that the awareness raising, such an important part of it. There's a quote from Jane Goodall, the famous conservation lady known so much for her work. And it goes something like this: if they hear, then they will understand. If they understand, then they will care. And if they care, then they will help. The people here in St. Louis are such good-hearted people. And if they just understand, then they're very likely to step up and help. And so that's where I am right now today with the Heart Association, the Hardball campaign, just getting the word out. Jay, I decided to focus, and I worked with the American Heart Association, and they completely, wholeheartedly agreed. My emphasis for the Heart Association campaign is health equity. Health equity. So important. We talk about equity, diversity. This is part of that. And it relates to a couple of other major initiatives that you're aware of that I'm supporting. And one is Access Point, which we can talk about. And the other is the APGA golf tournament, which has that same element of creating more equity, in this case, in the professional golf world.
Okay, folks, that's the first part of the Ron Daugherty interview. Don't go anywhere. We are headed to the back nine, and we'll do the conclusion of that interview with the CEO of Daugherty Business Solutions, Ron Daugherty. More with Golf with Jay Delsing. After my knee replacement, I was able to swing the golf club again without any pain. SSM Health Physical Therapy guided me through the rehab process, and when I was ready, one of their specially trained KVES certified physical therapists put me on the 3D motion capture system. It was awesome. They evaluated my posture, alignment, and the efficiencies of my swing. They gave me golf-specific exercises to help make my swing more efficient and repeatable. Call 800-518-1626. Tell them Jay sent you for special pricing. Your therapy, our passion.
The Ascension Charity Classic returns September 6th through the 11th. Once again, St. Louis will host golf's greatest champions. But no matter who wins, the real winners will be local area charities and communities. Tickets available now at AscensionCharityClassic.com.
One thing we all often forget to add to our checklist when traveling is, where do I park at the airport? Of all the things we need to think about when traveling, parking should not be one of them. AAA's partnership with the Parking Spot offers several parking facilities at the airport with free shuttles available 24 hours a day right to your gate. And the parking spot shuttles will take you right back to your car when you return. Their lots are well lit and fenced in, and many facilities offer premium, covered, and open air parking. Right now, the Parking Spot is offering all AAA members a 30% off parking discount through August of this year. Visit theparkingspot.com and enter promo code PARK22 to get a 30% discount off your reservation. That's theparkingspot.com, promo code PARK22. And remember, AAA Travel is there for all your travel needs. Powers Insurance is a family-owned agency right here in St. Louis that specializes in providing personalized coverage for the client who has a lot going on. At Powers, they understand that you and your life do not fit in a simple box. So guess what? Neither should your insurance coverage. Go to powersinsurance.com or call 314-725-1414 and ask for Tim Davis. That's powersinsurance.com.
This is Golf with Jay Delsing. To learn more about the game of golf, latest equipment, and golfing tips, log on to jdelsinggolf.com. The Back Nine is presented by Pro-Am Golf.
Hey, Jay Delsing here, and Golf with Jay Delsing is coming at you right now. We are headed to the Back Nine. Pearlie's with me, and the Back Nine is brought to you by my friends at Pro-Am Golf Centers. 314-647-8054 or visit them at proamgolfusa.com. Call CJ, guys, and get fitted. It's not too late. It's only July. We still got 3 great months of golf. Call CJ, get fitted. That's my entire message. I've done it. Pearlie's getting in line to do it. CJ is the best in town. He's going to help your game. Guys, we are going to part 2 of my interview with Ron Daugherty. I hope you enjoy it. You have to mention, I know you're also a ballroom dancing aficionado, and just last year for the Independence Center, you raised a lot of money in the Dancing with Stars program. And Ron, it kind of, what I found interesting about this is that I'm not sure you knew of this at the beginning, but you found out shortly thereafter about a really strong personal connection on the Independence Center. And we're in the Independence Center, for the folks that don't know, are focusing and shedding light on mental illness. And that is really big deal in our community.
It's really true. More than most people understand, mental illness, depression touches almost every family in some way. And so I liked what I saw with the Independence Center, and I was interested in their Dancing with the St. Louis Stars ballroom dancing competition. Such a clever and fun way to drive a fundraising campaign. And so I agreed to compete as a dancer. And as I got closer to the campaign and I met some of the folks who were associated with founding the Independence Center, I heard a story about a young man named Gib Hecker, and his parents, the Hecker family, were among the original founders of the Independence Center. And Gib Hecker took his own life, and his family then helped start the Independence Center. And when I heard that, it just hit me so hard, because when I had just started a couple of years into Daugherty Business Solutions, way back in the 80s, Gib worked for me. He worked for me. He was brilliant. He was smart. He was funny. Everybody liked him. Just one of those exceptional people. It stunned all of us. Stunned us when he committed suicide. I had just seen him. I saw him at the Lion's Choice, right there at the corner of Olive and 270. I remember, I'll never forget, I walked in, he was sitting there, he was eating the fries. He's something special about these Lion's Choice French fries, Ron. he was just smiling. And a couple of days later, he was gone. And none of us knew that he was battling with mental illness. We didn't know. And why didn't we know? Because there was a stigma associated with it. He didn't want anyone to know. And should there be a stigma? Of course not. Is there a stigma if you break your arm? No. Why would there be a stigma if you have some other condition? That's one of the reasons that I got behind the Independence Center, because if we remove that stigma, wonderful people like Gib Hecker can be more open in how they ask for help and support. And we lost them. We didn't know, and we lost them. And I was delighted to step in and help the Independent Center so we can change that situation.
Ron, let's talk about Access Point. You got St. Louis and Nelly involved. If people want to check out, they need to go to your website and check out the Nelly video. It is really impressive.
I've really been impressed with Nelly. He's smart. He's entrepreneurial. He's having a lot of success right now because he's really been very, very clever, very smart with his collaborations and other things that he's done. He's just a great, talented musician. And so he stepped in. He was happy to support Access Point. He came to our offices and recorded videos with us. And then we went to Topgolf. He loves Topgolf. And we went to Topgolf along with students, parents, teachers, corporate people supporting Access Point. And there's a video of Nelly speaking at our kickoff event, in addition to a couple of other things there from Topgolf. And he continues to support Access Point. And Access Point is a program that we created, helps underrepresented kids, and primarily these are students who are African Americans and female students, often from the North City, from the city schools, and help them move from high school to a well-paying career in information technology with a major company within a year. I just had an Access Point event at my house last night. We had our partners from Cigna, our first corporate partner, who stepped up. Tim Wentworth, John Joplin, Dallas Long, their leaders stepped up to support Access Point and be our first corporate sponsor for our pilot, which has been very successful. Now we have 15 students, kids who were in high school a year ago who are making in the mid $50,000 a year range, from $54,000 to $57,000 a year out of high school, and it's a career, not just a short-term thing. And Cigna made that possible. And now we've been joined by MasterCard, by Bayer, by Ameren, by Edward Jones, by a couple of other companies. And those folks were all at my house last night talking about the success of the program, what it's done to change the lives for the students and their families, and how we're going to take it forward and scale it. And my vision for Access Point is for it to change the game with respect to diversity in the information technology workforce everywhere in the country, and to change the lives of thousands of deserving students by opening up career opportunities for them that just ordinarily would not be within their reach, because these are smart, capable students who are just not in a position to achieve a 4-year college degree in the traditional manner. But through Access Point, if they can learn the Access Point material, which we teach, then they're guaranteed a well-paying job with a major corporation. The jobs are waiting for them. I start with the jobs. Really excited about the program. I have a team of half a dozen really dedicated Daugherty teammates that work full-time supporting Access Point. We work with just about every high school in the region, 50 high schools. We're starting to move outside of St. Louis as well. It's been a game changer for everyone who's been involved so far.
Well, Ron, being able to hit these younger folks right at this time, such a crucial time, so many big decisions come up right in that high school time frame area that can alter the course of their lives. This is just an incredible opportunity. And then I believe, if I'm not mistaken, you have already planned on hiring in the next group that comes through the program, I think 25 of them.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I made that commitment. And so cohort 1 is already employed at Cigna and at Daugherty. Cohort 2, where we have 30 students coming through now, I made the commitment and was excited to hire 25 of them. I think that we have so many companies in town, I'm going to have to fight just to get a few of them. But cohort 2 is halfway through their training. Everything's going great. We anticipate over 100 students in cohort 3, and I'll get my 25 from that group. And then we'll build on it from there. Jay, the point you made is so important. I've just learned this as we've moved through the program. these students in high school, they are at a point, a crossroads, where they'll need to make a decision. They'll need to go down a path. And it won't typically be a traditional 4-year college education. They're just not in a position to do that. If we're able to work with them before they make those long-term life decisions at the end of high school, we can pull them into the program. But after that happens, it becomes more and more difficult to connect, to change the path. And so important. And what we're doing with the program is that every year we work further upstream. That is from second semester seniors to now we're working with juniors. And the earlier that we can start to work with students, easier it is to help ensure their success. So I'm really happy with the way it's coming along.
Ron, also consider this. If you're, say, a freshman or a sophomore, and you're watching what happens in front of you, and you're watching someone who is probably in very similar circumstances to you have this opportunity, grasp it, take a hold of it, do it, and then get into a different level of society, for lack of a better way to say it. That is the true power in what Access Point brings, because that is going to spread like wildfire among those high school students.
Yeah, it's so true. There's a young man, his name's Marcus Keys, young African-American man. He works for Daugherty. I hired him out of the Access Point program for the pilot. Marcus goes with us when we speak to high school. He's been to about 30 high schools with us so far. He'll stand up in front of the students and he'll say, I was right where you are a year ago. I was a high school senior. If you look through the window there, that's my car that I drove to this meeting. And it's not a brand new fancy car, but it's a nice car he was able to buy because he has a good job now. And he said, that's the sort of doors that Access Points open up to me. You should take a look. And they go from kind of, disinterested, another pitch to, holy cow, who do I talk to? Just as you said, Jay.
What the hell, Ron? I am a golf show, so let's talk a little bit about the Ascension Charity Classic and the APG.
Could I just? I'm really anxious to do that. Could I just tell you one quick Access Point story?
Please do.
Okay, there's a young African American woman. Her name's Destiny, and she sent me an email, and she said, "I just want to thank you for the Access Point program. Because of Access Point, I believe in myself now. And finally, I'm able to help my mother so that she doesn't have to work 3 jobs. And for the first time in years, we were able to sit down and have dinner together last night." And so she just sent that email to me. Now, here's the rest of the story. It turns out that just a few weeks ago, Destiny's mother had a heart attack, and she's not going to be able to work for a few months. And that family would be in such a bad situation. But because of Destiny completing the Access Point program, she has a very good job, a good income, full health insurance coverage. She's the primary breadwinner, and everything's going to be okay. And that's the kind of life-changing impact that Access Point's making.
Man, what a difference. That's amazing. And also makes me think of the heart ball and the inclusionary aspect of that, to try to get these African-American folks more help and more coverage that they need.
That's right. That's just a solid line connection between Access Point and the Heart Campaign, just helping that situation. So absolutely.
Let's talk a little bit about the APGA. For the folks that don't know, the APGA it's Advocate Professional Golfers Association. It's been around for probably 12 or 13 years, but to not much fanfare until just recently. And I can know Nick Ragone and Steve Spratt have spearheaded the Ascension Charity Classic. I know they're good friends of yours, and they have just done great stuff. But Nick Ragone tells me a story that I don't even tell Ron what I'm asking for. I'm just telling him about the program for the APGA, and he said, you committed on the spot to being the presenting sponsor of this event that's going to be at Glen Echo. It's also, Ron, picking up major momentum. There's a couple of new stories in the Golf Digest this week. There's another story in Golf Week about the APGA just catching on around the country and more businesses like Daugherty supporting this inclusion and this equal opportunity thing. And it's opening doors that should have been opened a long time ago.
I am delighted to be the presenting sponsor for the APGA tournament this fall. I really am. And when I heard from Nick what the APGA really was about, and their commitment to equity and bringing in African Americans into the world of golf, and what a good thing that was, and how complementary that it was to Access Point and to the American Heart Association Health Equity campaign that I'm running, combined with the fact that Nick was organizing it. And I knew if Nick was organizing it, that he would do a fantastic job with it. I just wanted to be a part of it.
I so appreciate the Daugherty Business Solutions jumping into golf, and this APGA is a fun event. I am going to personally be involved to help some of the golfers understand that, yeah, it's great if you can play on the PGA Tour, but if you don't quite get to that level, there is still so much that the game can provide. Networking. For example, I'm talking to you right now. You're the CEO of a huge company that's growing outrageously well, and I'm getting to talk to you because of golf. And there's opportunities for those young men and those young women, even if it's not necessarily playing.
Jay, I kind of see the universe as just a set of dots, and they're all connected somehow or another. Some more directly than others, but they're all connected. And so this APGA tournament and the good things that it's doing with a golf focus, a golf theme, but there will be more good, even beyond golf, done by the APGA.
Please, and I know you'll never stop, but keep doing what you're doing for our community. The fact that people may not know about Access Point is criminal. They need to know about that. The Independence Center has been around for a long time. What you're doing with the Heartball, the golf that we're still pushing, all of those things are big, vital, positive things in our community. We so appreciate what you're doing. We're so glad that Daugherty is centered here in St. Louis and never leaving.
You know, it's such a great pleasure for me to do it, Jay. This town, the city of St. Louis, has been so good to me. Just everything started here. We have operations and offices around the world now, but I'm committed to keeping my headquarters in St. Louis. The city's been great to me. It's an honor to be able to give something back. And it gives me the ability to talk with wonderful folks like yourself, Jay. I really have had a lot of fun talking with you today.
All right, Pearl, that wraps up the Ron Daugherty interview. Man, I do the prep for these guys, and I'm like, gosh, the accomplishments that some of these people have are just staggering, and Ron Daugherty takes a backseat to no one.
He's got to be like 110 years old to have gotten everything done already, and he's doing so many things, so he acts like he's about 30. And he's done enough things that take you over 100 years to get done. So I'm not sure how he puts it all together. I did like your question about how he does get that done and stuff. And he talked about a little bit how he does pay attention to what he's doing and, you know, to get enough in. It's just fun to hear his excitement. He has so much fun with his philanthropy. And I think it's just absolutely fantastic.
All right, that's going to wrap up the back nine. But don't go anywhere. Pearlie and I will be breaking it down on the 19th hole, presented by the Loading Dock. This is Golf with Jay Delsing. Hey, this is Jay Delsing for SSM Health Physical Therapy. Our golf program has the same screening techniques and technology as the pros on the PGA Tour use. SSM Health Physical Therapy has the Titleist Performance Institute trained physical therapists that can perform the TPI screening on you, as well as use the K-Vest 3D motion capture system. Proper posture, alignment, etc. can help you keep your game right down the middle. We have 80 locations in the St. Louis area. Call 800-518-1626 or visit them on the web at ssmphysicaltherapy.com. Your therapy, our passion. Folks, do you need a new car, truck, or SUV? Then the Dean team of Kirkwood is the place for you to go. 314-966-0303 and go see Colin Byrne. He just got me into a new SUV and I love it. Boy, did they make the experience painless and super, super easy. Most dealers don't have any cars in their lots, but at Dean Team of Kirkwood, Colin has an entire parking lot full of new and used cars. You don't want a VW? That's no problem. They have Audis, BMWs, Mercedes, anything you want. Colin and the Dean Team of Kirkwood will go get it if they don't have it. Call them at 314-966-0303 or go to DeanTeamVWKirkwood.com. The Dean Team, for all your car buying needs.
We're creating a better future one swing at a time. The Ascension Charity Classic returns September 6th through the 11th and provides critical dollars for area charities. Once again, St. Louis will host golf's greatest champions. Tickets at ascensioncharityclassic.com.
I've been looking for over 3 years for the perfect place to be the official 19th hole of the Golf with Jay Delsing show, and this search is over. Please welcome the loading dock to the show. What a great place it is. It is located at the confluence of the Mississippi and Illinois rivers in beautiful Grafton, Illinois. Their patio is killer with seating for over 800, and every weekend the loading dock has the area's best live music. There's no reservations required. They have overnight lodging available, and they also have an ice skating rink in the winter months. And don't forget about the super cool Riverside Flea Market, which happens the fourth weekend of each month from April through October. If you're into antiques and collectibles, you gotta check it out. The Grafton Ferry runs directly from St. Charles County to within steps of our parking lot. Go check out the loading dock and say hello to my buddy Peter Allen. He is a great guy, good golfer, and a lover of the game. Call 618-556-7951 or visit them on the web at graftonloadingdock.com for more information on their live music schedule, the Riverside Flea Market, and more. The Loading Dock, the new official 19th hole of the Golf with Jay Delsing show. This is Golf with Jay Delsing. I'm Jay Delsing, and I am sitting here with John Perlis. And this is the Golf with Jay Delsing show. We're headed to the 19th hole. Pearl, go ahead. This is a perfect little introduction because the 19th hole is brought to you by my buddy Peter Allen and the Loading Dock in beautiful Grafton, Illinois, right where the Mississippi and the Illinois rivers get together. 618-556-7951 or visit them on the web, graftonloadingdock.com. Great place, great folks. Gotta check it out. Super live music, the whole thing. John, Ron Daugherty, the fact that he's so committed to St. Louis, I just love the fact that he's grounded, his roots are strong, and that he so into trying to give back to a city that he believes has been great to him.
Well, I love how passionate he is about it. He truly enjoys it. There's where I think the power is. This is not a labor, or if you will, a labor of love to him. Tell how much he enjoys networking, the fun things, the special things that he does, the stories he was telling that he was doing. And I'll tell you what, there's so much going on. And then when all of a sudden the Pan Am fencing came out of nowhere, I'm like,
bro, the guy had he had like a back injury and almost a back surgery or something, and was I mean, it's just amazing. So, yeah, I've always felt a little bit like a slacker, and when I, prep for him, I'm like, forget it.
A lot going on. He's built cool teams from a business standpoint. I loved what he talked about as far as building the team, how they work together, how he's going to transition away from it and make it more of an employee-owned operation. A lot of great things. Obviously, a master business person. And, hey, an overnight success of 37 years.
Exactly. I love that. And, John, it's interesting because a lot of the principles that you help companies with are stuff that he hit on just regularly. Communication and structure and things like that. It was really cool. Really cool guy. Really appreciate his time. Pearl, that's going to wrap up another show. Thanks for being with me.
Enjoyed it, Jay, as always.
And we will be coming back right at you next Sunday with more of Golf with Jay Delsing. Hit 'em straight, St. Louis. I want to tell you about a family-owned and operated golf business that's been right here in St. Louis for over 40 years. I'm talking about Pro-Am Golf Center. That's right, Pro-Am Golf Center. I know you know the name, but I'm not sure you know what they really have to offer. They have everything a seasoned golfer like myself could need, all the way down to what a beginner would want. Pro-Am Golf Center has the lowest price in the area for custom club fitting. I just went and visited CJ. He is terrific. If you call them now, mention my name, Jay Delsing, you will receive a discount on that already low club fitting price. Their number is 314-647-8054. Ask for CJ, or you can visit them at proamgolfusa.com. That's proamgolfusa.com. I want to tell you about my friends and longtime supporters of this show, Marcone. Yes, they are incredible community stewards. Yes, they are the largest distributors of GE appliance parts in North America. What you don't know, they are spearheading, led by owner and St. Louis and Jim Sowers, a new service dog program with and in conjunction with David Faraday and the 24/7 Battle Buddy program. Jim and Marcone are ensuring that a minimum of 2 service dogs a year will get partnered with a veteran hero in need. These dogs are expertly trained, connected with their veteran master, and then magic starts to happen. These dogs are retrained to meet the specific needs of their warrior and to help them successfully navigate everyday life. You can learn more on Facebook at Troops First 24/7 Battle Buddies, or reach out to me at j@jdelsinggolf.com, and I will fill you in on more of this program.
This has been Golf with Jay Delsing. To learn more about Jay and the services he can provide any golfer, visit jdelsinggolf.com. You'll see the latest in golf equipment, get tips from a PGA pro, and you'll learn more about the game of golf. That's jdelsinggolf.com.